Fair, accurate, to the point. This is Montana This Morning on Q2.
Good morning and welcome to Montana This Morning. Today's Friday, May 15th, 2015. I'm Victoria Hill.
And I'm Ed McIntosh. Here we go with the rainy weekend. Lots to talk about in weather today.
We've been looking forward to this weekend all week long. We know it's going to be rainy, so we're ready for it.
That's right. Let's take a look.
Rainy and ready.
Rainy and
That's
ready.
us.
Rainy and ready. I like that. That's our theme for the rest of the day now. We have some clouds out there, and the showers will be off and on. You have to remember it was a year ago this week that we got hit with the big hailstorm. So with 47 now, we're more likely to be looking at rain throughout the weekend, but the potential for severe weather much, much lower. Northeast wind 15 is going to make it feel a little bit cooler. And across the region, we're watching area showers develop. And we're even seeing a few lightning strikes through southeastern Montana. Readings mainly into the 40s, a few low 50s, Grable, Hardin, Sheridan, all at 50 degrees, 49 in Miles City this morning, and the mid to upper 40s. So we're off to an okay start as far as temperatures, and we could still hit 50s to low 60s. That moisture push is continuing to move into the region today. Northeast Montana and the western Dakotas, you'll be a little bit slower to start to catch up with the rain, and that's also going to be the case in the northwest portion of the state. But showers already starting to move in through Wyoming, in through South Dakota. We still have some haze around this morning as well, so some areas of patchy fog developing through the morning hours. Today, the chance of showers will increase as the day goes on, and then hit and miss showers throughout the rest of the weekend. We'll talk more about that and our forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, it's just one of those weekends to plan stuff indoors. So that's what I have, indoor stuff, movie, stuff like that. So
good planning.
Good planning right up here, no problem. Okay, well, we actually do have some breaking news this morning, Ed, so I'm going to get on over to that.
Okay, thanks, Victoria.
We have breaking news to report this morning. Billings police are investigating an early morning motorcycle crash on the south side. Now, this is video from the scene. The crash was first reported around 4:30 this morning. It happened near the intersection of South 27th Street and 5th Avenue South. Initial reports indicated it was a vehicle versus motorcycle crash. At least one person was was transported to the hospital by ambulance. Very few details are available at this time, but we do know the streets were blocked off as investigators cleared the scene. We'll update you online with more information as it becomes available. Now on to the national front. The investigation into the deadly Amtrak crash in Philadelphia remains focused on the engineer. He's expected to speak with the National Transportation Safety Board sometime in the next few days. The attorney for engineer Brandon Bastian says his client has no memory of the crash. 8 people died when the train derailed at more than 100 miles per hour. Something else to know before heading out the door this morning, the Nepal Army says it has spotted the wreckage of the missing U.S. Marine helicopter. It disappeared on Tuesday with 6 Marines and 2 Nepal soldiers on board. No signs of life were seen from the air. The chopper was delivering aid to earthquake victims. Back here in Montana, come this fall, students at Montana universities must learn how to deal with and report sexual assault. The Montana Office of the Commissioner of Higher Education announced the directive at the end of 2014. It's a protocol for students to complete the Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Program. The Haven Sexual Assault Program is a 40-minute long online course. The program teaches students how to respond to difficult situations while in school, as well as after graduation. It's designed for students that are 18 to 20 years old. School officials are now looking at Haven Plus programs to address older students. In crime news, a young Billings girl told investigators she was in 5th grade the first time she was raped by her 34-year-old babysitter. Brad Bjork has been charged with 3 counts of sexual intercourse without consent. He allegedly committed the crimes against a 12-year-old girl for more than a year. Court documents state Bjork is a friend of the girl's family and would watch over her and her siblings from time to time. The girl eventually told her mother about the sexual abuse. When the woman confronted Bjork, he first denied it, but later admitted it. Bjork allegedly told the victim's mother her daughter, quote, wanted it. Bjork is being held at the Yellowstone County Jail on a $50,000 bond. And before we get to break, turning to Bakken news, oil production in North Dakota increased 1% in March, according to the state's Department of Mineral Resources, that is. In spite of the current industry-wide slowdown, March production figures show North Dakota producing nearly 1.2 million barrels per day, which equals out to almost 37 million barrels per month. March also saw North Dakota set a new all-time high for the number of producing oil wells, which peaked over 12,000. But the slowdown in the oil industry is perhaps better reflected in the state's rig count. Today's rig count totaled just 83, which is the lowest number in North Dakota in 5 years. That rig count is down 62% from its all-time high of 218 set back in May of 2012. The latest rig count in Montana is 0. North Dakota Mineral Resources Director Lynn Helm says the price of crude oil is by far the biggest driver of the current slowdown. A quick check of the market showed the West Texas Intermediate price for oil at $59.88. Bakken sweet crude was selling for $51.50. There were 880 wells waiting on completion services in March, which is down 20 from February. Helm says for North Dakota to maintain production at its current 1.2 million barrels per day, between 110 and 120 well completions must occur each month. Thank you so much for waking up with us here on Montana this morning. Coming up in a few minutes, it's a sad day for blues music fans as legend B.B. King passes away overnight. We'll take a look back at his accomplishments. It's now 47 degrees here in downtown Billings, and the time is now 5:36. But up next, we'll have a look at today's weather forecast.
Up into the upper 50s, low 60s across the area today. Billings likely close to 60 by later in the day, but the chance of rain will increase as the day goes on, and that makes it really a lousy day for National Bike to Work Day.
Yep.
Darn it, you forgot your bike.
I forgot my bike.
Darn it.
You can't go get your burrito now. Come on.
I can't go get my well, I can get a burrito, but it's just not going to be on a bike, I'll tell you that.
That's right. Well, we should explain that
I walked.
Billings Bike Net is doing something in conjunction with Lucky's Market today. They're going to be out at a few locations through the central portion of town. So if you bike or you walk or you take the bus, you can stop and get a free breakfast burrito at one of those locations.
So there you go. If you're don't mind the raindrops falling on your head.
Yeah, that's
maybe.
right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask a question about weather. Yesterday, it was so hazy all day long.
Yes.
Yesterday morning, you commented the sun might peek out. Sure enough, it eventually did.
Right.
All day long, it was hazy. What
It was
the deal?
really hazy. In fact, it was kind of a gray haze, and we just had a bit of an inversion that set up, so it wasn't real close to the ground, but it was just in one level of the atmosphere. In fact, we had even some comments from around Forsyth where it looked more like it was smoke because it was kind of gray
It
and
was
brownish looking.
hot.
It was a
Looking.
weird day
It
because
was a really weird
yesterday
day.
morning when you said it's going to reach, the 60s, mid 60s, I was like, oh, it's going to take a lot of work to get there. But as soon as that sun popped out,
It got there.
did. It
It
warmed
started
up
to
just
warm
like
right
that.
up,
So you can
yeah.
tell we're getting late spring, summer just around the corner.
Yeah.
And even further proves you can always trust our good friend Ed for your
right.
true weather forecast. When
Thank
the
you,
haze
thank
wasn't
you.
clearing, I was thinking,
I'll tell you what.
I don't know about that Ed guy, but
Rob
it did.
Monaco's
so.
up in master control, knowing full well I was sweating bullets on that yesterday. Yeah.
All right, well, you're right, and that's what matters, and I'm sure you'll be right again this weekend.
That's right.
So,
Well,
Russell,
before
what
we
do you
get
have
to his
coming up?
forecast, we're going to talk about Real Montana Class 1 is graduating this weekend up in the Flathead Valley. We'll tell you a little bit more about that, plus some big news for the Western Sugar Cooperative.
Okay. All right,
All
we'll
right.
be listening. Now back
Let's
to weather.
See if we can trust my forecast for today here, because we got a little something different happening. This is water vapor imagery. This shows where the moisture is in the atmosphere. Here's the upper low right here. This thing's going to split a little bit, but we showed you it yesterday. It was parked off the coast of California. It's swinging all of this moisture, so everything in the white and the pink and especially the green shades, that's a lot of moisture that's starting to be pulled up this way, tapping out of the Gulf of Mexico. It's getting some Pacific moisture, so there's lots of fuel to work with as we switch over to our satellite radar mix. So there's the low pressure area taking this moisture, pushing it up our direction. Where you see the flickers over here in southeast Montana pushing towards the Dakotas, those are lightning strikes already this morning. So we're picking up a little bit of morning thunderstorm activity. As we take it ahead with our True View forecast, here comes that moisture push as we get through the day. Now, areas of northeastern Montana, the western Dakotas, and northwest Montana, a little less likely to pick up on the showers during the day, but we'll see these bands of rain start to form, and some of these isolated thunderstorms could linger into this evening as well. Now watch as the system starts to pull up. We're going to take the clock from this evening into tomorrow morning. Bands of rain move up, but then we pick up this area of drier air through southeastern Montana. Exactly where that lines up will make a big difference on how much Billings could get in rain. If that system pushes a little more to the west, Billings may see some breaks in the rain early in the day. Otherwise, it could be off and on rain throughout the day, with the southeast corner of the state having a chance to warm up just a little bit more, but missing out on some of the rain. This system will continue to pull up and swing more of that moisture around, bringing the chance of snow into the higher elevations by the time we start getting into Saturday evening. So here we are looking into the Beartooth with the potential of some snow. That's actually a good thing rather than raining on the snow and causing what's remaining of the snowpack to run down into the rivers and streams. Then take it from Saturday into Sunday, and that low pressure system continues to move off into the Dakotas, so we may start with some rain showers, but then see it drop off as we get later in the day. The bad news is we've got this cold air coming down from the north Sunday night into Monday morning. Monday could be very chilly. In fact, we could have some frost and freeze situations early on Monday. So there's the moisture stream coming up from the south. Temperatures are mainly into the 40s right now. You can see where it's a little bit clearer here as we look into the eastern part of the state. High temperatures today mainly into the 50s and 60s all across the region, and across our area we're going to be looking at a lot of those readings today to be into the 50s to 60s. A little bit warmer east of Billings, but a bit breezy at 15 to 25 miles an hour. And the wind will continue to be somewhat of a factor, with area showers today, chance of rain increasing, then a 15 to 25 mile an hour wind through the region, especially Billings to the east through the weekend. Then temperatures after they are much cooler. We should normally be in the mid 60s, and that's not going to happen until maybe the end of next week. I'm well over my time. It is 5:44, so Russell has a look at Farm and Ranch News.
Thank you, Ed, and good morning, friends. It's time for your agricultural news. Well, this weekend up in Kalispell, leaders of the Real Montana program like our networks, Taylor Brown, will be on hand as Class 1 graduates. Talking with Taylor before he left for the Flathead, he said they have an exciting graduation ceremony lined up for the men and women of Class 1, and we'll certainly share more of the graduation details next week. But in the meantime, I also want to mention applications are also open for Class 2. Up to 20 applicants will be competitively selected to take part in the 2-year program focused on leadership development, natural resource education, professional skill building, and networking. And applications are available right on our website at northernag.net. In some other ag news, I wanted to mention Western Sugar Cooperative says that they've entered into a new long-term credit commitment led by CoBank, a financial services institution that provides credit to agribusiness cooperatives and other rural businesses throughout the United States. Company officials say the new commitment will allow the co-op to step up their operation investments as part of their long-term strategy to remain cost competitive. Now, the co-op will be investing in some newer technologies, expanding both their Scotts Bluff, Nebraska and Fort Morgan, Colorado facilities, while significantly reducing its operating activities in Torrington, Wyoming over the next 15 to 24 months. So, pretty big news for the folks at Western Sugar Cooperative. With that, let's go ahead and take a look back at some of the ag markets from yesterday. Overall, cash cattle picture still pretty quiet out there. More than likely, though, we'll have a stronger test throughout today. As far as local markets are concerned, yesterday at the Billings Livestock Commission, feeder cattle lightly tested, but they had some young cow-calf pairs bring over $3,000, and slaughter cows and bulls still steady to strong. The cash hog markets in the Midwest, they were actually up $1 yesterday, while the Finnish lambs $1.36 up to $1.44. And wrapping things up with the grain markets, hey, some commercial buying pushed the wheat markets higher. July winter wheat up nearly 34 at 5.43. Spring wheat for July at 5.69, and corn futures a nickel better at 3.59. That's going to do it for now, but stay with us. We have a lot more headed your way right after this.
time is now 5:50. Welcome back. There's a live shot for you this morning out of New York City of the B.B. King Blues Club and Grill. Very sad day for blues fans all over the world as B.B. King passed away overnight, and we will have more on that in just a minute. In other news, a flood in Texas turns deadly. Near Houston, searchers have found the body of a man swept away by floodwater during a desperate rescue attempt Wednesday. The 36-year-old man had been missing since he and his car were swept away. His body was found 2 miles down the way. He was washed up against an embankment just behind a church. A nearby river is swollen and has caused flooding and eroding ground. One woman fears her house will fall into the river. Police in China have apprehended 10 people for allegedly killing a panda, then selling its meat. 3 of the 10 have formally been arrested. Police say they uncovered the panda's pelt and other remains at the home of 2 of the suspects. The suspects allegedly sold 77 pounds of panda meat and the animal's claws for about $800. The World Wildlife Fund estimates there are only less than 2,000 giant pandas living in the wild. And last, Riley B. King, the legendary guitarist known as B.B. King, passed away Thursday night. He was 89 years old. His daughter, Patty King, said he died in Las Vegas, where he announced 2 weeks ago that he was in home hospice care after suffering from dehydration. King was born on September 16, 1925, on a cotton plantation in Mississippi. In his youth, he played on street corners for dimes, saying he earned more in one night singing on the corner than he did in 1 week working in the cotton field. In today's business news, plan on traveling to New York? Then don't be surprised when you check into your hotel and are greeted by a robot. Jill Wagner tells us about it in your Money Watch report.
Honda is recalling nearly 5 million more cars worldwide, again because of faulty Takata airbags. This time the problem is a leak that can rupture the airbags and cause a possible explosion. Toyota and Nissan announced similar recalls Wednesday. The total recalled cars with Takata airbags now tops 33 million. Here on Wall Street, the Dow snapped a 3-day losing streak on news that fewer people are signing up for unemployment benefits. The S&P hit a new record high. The Dow jumped 192 points, closing in on its record. The Nasdaq is up 69. The fast food chain known for calorie-packed blizzards is getting more health conscious. Dairy Queen says starting in September, it will remove soft drinks from its kids menu. It's the latest restaurant to change its menu and offer healthier options. McDonald's removed soda from Happy Meals last summer. And the next time you check into a hotel, this giant robot might be your bellhop. It's called the Yobot. The Yotel Hotel in New York City uses it to help visitors store their luggage before and after they check out. It can lift 500 pounds, and you don't need to give it a tip. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, follow me on Twitter at Jill Wagner CBS. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jill Wagner.
Okay, Ed, what else do we have coming up in the forecast?
We got a lot of rain over the weekend. In fact, as we take a look off towards Florida, it's a burrowing owl this morning. The burrowing owl cam. Maybe he's trying to get out of the rain.
Looks kind of sunny to me.
Looks sunny there. We'll talk about our forecast when we come back. Fly, little friend, fly. Yesterday afternoon and through last evening, we picked up 0.11 of an inch of moisture officially at the airport in Billings, with the trace amount continuing overnight last night. Now we're watching for the potential of more rain to start to move into the region, and where you see those flickers, that's lightning as we start looking into extreme southeastern Montana coming out of around Rapid City. So rain showers continuing to move up across the region, and in our True View forecast for today, the green shows the potential for rain, the pink even some snow into the high elevations, some bands of some heavier rain or some thunderstorms through this evening. As we take it into tonight with these hit and miss showers during the day and into tomorrow, we're going to be looking at some drier air pushing into southeastern Montana. If that band sets up just to the east of Billings or just to the west, the latest analysis shows a pretty good band of rain across the Billings area tomorrow morning. But there is the potential that could move slightly as we look overnight into tomorrow. Chance of rain showers will continue to spin in with some higher elevation snow into the Beartooths and the Bighorns. But Sunday, watch colder air start to move down from the north. This system starts to exit, but it could be really chilly, and we could have some freeze conditions by Monday morning, at least some frost around south central Montana. Readings today will be mainly into the 50s and 60s for the highs, with an increasing chance of rain during the day. More on the forecast, current conditions, the extended forecast, and headlines after this on Montana This Morning.
Fair, accurate, to the point. This is Montana This Morning on Q2.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Montana This Morning. Today's Friday, May 15th. I'm Victoria Hill.
And I'm Ed McIntosh. We got a good chance of rain over the weekend.
You don't say.
You don't say. We've got areas of
Who would have
fog.
thought?
And well, we've only been building up to this all week. Fog across portions of south central Montana, southeastern Montana this morning. And as we take a look with readings now at 46 in Billings, that northeast wind's making it feel a little cooler, and it'll be a little breezy today, tonight, tomorrow. Continue. Temperatures around us are mainly into the 40s, 50 right now in Hardin and in Graybull. 49 in Sheridan and Miles City this hour. You see the showers starting to move in southeast Montana. There's also some flickers of lightning down there as well that is coming out of South Dakota. Temperatures as warm as the 40s and 50s into the northern portion of the state. Areas around Kalispell start off a little bit drier, but anywhere right through the central portion of Montana and southern Montana have the best chances of rain during the day, and some of that areas of fog starting to redevelop. Same thing as we saw yesterday with some of that haze across the region. Highs could hit the upper 50s to about 60 with an increasing chance of rain later in the day, and we picked a lousy day for National Bike to Work Day.
Just happens to fall that way, but if the rain doesn't bother you any, I know that there's some extra incentive for biking to work around Billings, right?
That's right. There's a couple of locations, I think at Lewis and Division Street, and then up on Grand as you make the transition from the west end. A couple of places where you can get free burritos. There's breakfast burritos this morning on your way if you're biking, busing, walking to work.
Okay, all right, so there you go. Russell's got to throw on his cowboy boots, find his bike, and then make his way over to his much-needed burrito, right?
You should be able to do that by Monday.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have some breaking news, and we have Senior Senator John Tester in studio, so that's all coming up in the next few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Victoria.
Our top story this Friday, we have breaking news to report as Billings police investigate an early morning motorcycle crash on the south side. Now, this is video from the scene. The crash was first reported around 4:30 this morning. It happened near the intersection of South 27th and 5th Avenue South. Initial reports indicated it was a vehicle versus motorcycle crash. At least one person was seen taken away from the scene by a hospital ambulance. Very few details are available at this time, but we do know the streets were blocked off as investigators cleared the scene. We'll update you online with more information as soon as it becomes available. And we have an update on the investigation into the deadly Amtrak crash in Philadelphia. The focus remains on the engineer. He's expected to speak with the National Transportation Safety Board sometime in the next few days. The attorney for engineer Brandon Bastian says his client has no memory of the crash. 8 people died when the train derailed at more than 100 miles per hour. In world news, U.S. military officials have confirmed the wreckage found in Nepal overnight is the missing Marine helicopter crews have been searching for. The helicopter was carrying 6 U.S. Marines. Jonathan Vigalotti has the latest from London.
Nepalese troops in a rescue chopper say they found the wreckage of a U.S. Marine helicopter early this morning. Nepal's defense secretary says crews have found several bodies at the site. Today's discovery comes nearly 3 days after the chopper disappeared while delivering aid to earthquake victims in remote villages. The mother of Phoenix Marine Jake Hugh has been hoping he and his crew are still alive.
She hasn't slept, she hasn't ate, she's just constantly waiting, she's told not to watch the news.
Chris Norgren, a pilot from Kansas, reported a fuel problem before he and his crew disappeared Tuesday night. 6 U.S. Marines and 2 Nepalese soldiers were on board, and it's still unclear what caused the crash. The missing helicopter was among more than a dozen U.S. military aircraft helping Nepal recover from the 2 earthquakes. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News.
The discovery of the wreckage comes after several days of intense searching involving U.S. and Nepal choppers and U.S. satellites. Closer to home, a new station is set to open next month in Lockwood, but it's not just for firefighters, it's for the entire community. The new 20,000 square foot facility is 7 times the size of the current station. Fire Chief John Staley says it's much needed space. The $3.6 million building also features a community and meeting room and even a stocked fishing pond for kids. The current station on Driftwood Lane has just 2 bays for emergency vehicles, which means the department's other vehicles must park outside, exposed to the elements. Soon there will be 6 bays, leaving room for growth.
Well, this is our station of the future. It allows us to expand as the community expands. It's centrally located. It's located to our main arterials. So for us, it fits the bill for just about every function and efficiency that we're looking for in Lockwood.
The department plans to move into the new station mid-June. From fire to police, it will be a busy day again for attendees of National Police Week. After a busy and bustling night at the Candlelight Vigil, yesterday was meant for relaxation and learning. MTN's Shannon Newth is alongside other Montanans.
Good evening from our nation's capital. It's been a whirlwind trip for the thousands of survivors and officers in attendance at National Police Week. And although it's evident that it takes both a physical and emotional toll to be here, there's restoration happening in the form of sharing survivor stories. Stories are part of the human experience. They're how we pay tribute, remember, and honor those who've made an impact. After a mentally and emotionally challenging evening at the candlelight vigil, many survivors are finding solace in each other and in bringing to life the memory of their hero. Deputy Cody Bordeaux was not only a colleague, but a close friend of fallen Cascade County Sheriff's Deputy Joe Dunn.
Phenomenal. He's one of the people that you don't have to worry about whether is my backup going to be there, are they going to help me out. It was unquestioned. If he was on shift, he was there. Countless days our shifts, we always got the tail end, the crappy shifts because the new guys on the shift. But we'd overlap, so we'd always get to meet up and talk, and it was always fun.
Joe's family is remembering the man behind the badge, his character.
He was the epitome of a servant and a humble guy that just would selfless, would put everybody else's needs before his own. So we knew him in the capacity of a family man, and he was exactly that.
Joe's family and friends are learning from another Montanan who is one of the few who can truly identify with the grief and loss. Joyce Kramer lost her son, Officer Patrick Kramer, in October of 2006. While serving as a West Yellowstone police officer, he responded to a call on an icy road. He hit a patch of ice, flipped his vehicle, and died instantly when he hit a tree. At that time, Montana didn't have a chapter of cops or concerns of police survivors, and the Kramers had little support in living with a line of duty death. Joyce is helping to change that culture.
I want to reach out to help someone else, and it's a healing piece for me as well. It helps me cope with the support if I can give back to another family that has to go through the same tragic event.
Helping rebuild shattered lives is what Joyce is doing for the Dunn family and what all of National Police Week is about for those who wear the badge and those who support those who wear the badge. Coming up tomorrow morning, National Police Week events move to the Capitol lawn. There, survivors and officers will hear from a special guest speaker for National Peace Officers Memorial Day. Reporting in Washington, D.C., Shannon Newth, MTN News.
Thank you, Shannon. And now Montana's senior Senator John Tester joins us in studio. Woo, got ahead of my words there, but thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And I understand you've got a busy schedule ahead. One of the topics I wanted to talk about is you're pushing for this Parental Bereavement Act. So tell us, what's that about?
Well, I'll just tell you, for parents who lose a child, it's a 12-week unpaid leave from the job. Now, it's the worst possible thing that could happen to a parent losing a child. It's the most traumatic thing that could happen. This gives the parents an opportunity to recover and to get back. You never do fully get back, but the fact is it's an opportunity to get back and become productive again. This was initiated by a person who lost their child and wasn't able to leave work to be able to grieve and recover, and so it's just kind of common sense. It's unpaid leave for 12 weeks, allows these folks to get back to normal as best they can.
And I found an interesting statistic within your writing that 3,000 American children between the ages of 1 and 14 die suddenly each year from accidents.
Yeah, no, it happens with too much regularity, and you know, like, I mean, if you think about this, burying your children is not something you want to be doing, and so it takes time to recover from that. And this is just giving folks the ability to get their lives back into order, and it's a very, very difficult time. I can't imagine their productivity at work is that great anyway. Give them time to get back.
Right, makes sense. Okay, and I also wanted to ask, I understand you are traveling to Busby today, so what is it that you plan on doing over there?
There's a Bureau of Indian Education school in Busby, and the Indian Education schools funded by the federal government have gotten a fair amount of press in the last few months because they're substandard. Not up to snuff, facilities aren't what they need to be to have a good learning environment. We're going to go down and take a look at it firsthand, see what's going on in Montana, see how the schools are doing, and see what we can do, depending on what we see what we can do at the federal level to try to make the learning conditions in Bureau of Indian Education schools, competitive with everybody else. Education is very, very important as we approach graduation season to be able to compete in this worldwide economy. And if you get a substandard K through 12 education, it really puts you at a disadvantage throughout your whole life.
Right, and I know one of the tribes here in Montana did find that BIA schools on the reservation received around $6,000 per child less than non-BIE schools. That's a big number.
That's a huge number, and if you're trying to make the budget balance plus buy the books and hire the teachers and pay them competitive salaries, it can have a big impact on your ability to recruit and retain teachers and have the kind of books out there that the kids need to be able to learn from.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Montana This Morning. I mean, safe travels to Busby, and thank you for looking into that. I'm sure we all appreciate it, so
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, and we've still got a lot more coming up on Montana This Morning. Still ahead, caught on camera, a head-on crash in California leaves 2 dead after a woman steals an ambulance at knife point. Details on that coming up. The time is now 6:12, but we'll be right back after this break.
.6:15, welcome back to Montana This Morning, where it's time for ag and weather together. And Russ, it's finally here, the 65th annual world-famous Miles City Bucking Horse Sale.
Yes, indeed, my friend, and standing by to give us an update from Cowtown, USA this morning is the Northern Ag Network's Lane Nordland.
For 65 years, the Miles City Bucking Horse Sale has provided rough stock competition for cowboys, entertainment for spectators, and an economic boost for the Miles City community. And it's in full swing this weekend in Miles City.
You know, the Bucking Horse Sale is not your typical rodeo. The action's pretty fast-paced. It's pretty unorchestrated. You got to be pretty flexible from top to bottom, and that sure tries your patience as a rodeo announcer when you're more used to a little more typical format. You know, my family's been involved in the sale for almost all those years. My great-grandfather Les Bow ran the sale barn here. Him and his son-in-law, my grandfather Bob Pauley, started the sale. My grandpa Bob then picked up at the Bucking Horse sale for I think 10 or 12 years after that. Both my dad and my uncle rode in the sale. We've sold horses, consigned horses throughout the years, and like I said, I've announced it now for 17 years. So,
you know, I think for me it's a way to give back to the community, and it's kind of what our tradition is. It's, you know, it kind of goes back to our roots in Miles City and our Western lifestyle. And
the thing that we try to point out about the Bucking Horse sale is it's not so much the Board of Governors that profit from this, it's the whole community.
And last night, the Mission Mountain Wood Band and the Hurtin' Albertan himself, Cor Blund, kicked off Horse Sale Weekend with a live concert at the fairgrounds. And this event truly is a Western holiday for the folks across the region, and especially Miles City. For the Northern Ag Network, I'm Lane Nordlund.
All right, thanks a lot, my friend. You ever been down to the Bucking Horse sale?
Sure.
I mean, you were raised in eastern Montana, for crying out loud. But by the sounds of it, a rain slicker might be a good investment into a beer koozie. In addition to a beer koozie.
That's right.
Say.
Yeah, I'm sure that Lane's already. I don't know if he has a rain slicker. I know.
Oh,
about
I'm
the beer
sure he's
koozie.
got both.
Yeah, that's
he
for
comes
sure.
well stocked in his pickup.
And speaking of rain, that could cause some problems with traffic, and that means it's time to turn to John with a look at traffic.
Well, thank you very much. A lot of fog out there, so do be thinking about that this morning. This Road Watch update brought to you by Collins Furniture, bringing home style, quality, and value for over 75 years. Well, one project in the Heights has been around since spring and will continue to be around quite a bit longer this year. I'm talking about the Bench Boulevard project. Yesterday, I talked with the project manager for the job, Doug Teller. He spoke about this daunting project. Tell me about the project. What are you guys doing here?
We are working on a widening and modernization of Bench Boulevard, as well as safety improvements in the intersection of Highways 87 and 312 and Main Street. And we're working on the improvements of this stretch here, and ultimately it'll be improved the whole lane. We anticipated there was going to be a lot of traffic on that street and a lot of very complex traffic control. It's been working out okay for us so far, but it is one of the highest traffic volume streets of its type in the whole state.
Certainly one of the busiest junctions in the state of Montana right there. You've got 87 around Up Road, 312 going out to Shepherd and Huntley Project, and then Main Street coming right into it.
And I would just encourage people to continue to drive safely, drive slowly, watch for flag people, watch for workmen and signage.
Well, I'll tell you what, they are very busy out there. Don't go out there unless you absolutely have to, because that is a very busy project. I'd like to thank Marcus Boyer and Travis Schlepp, who helped me out there with that project. Stay with us, a lot more Montana This Morning coming up right after this.
And showers already developing. Water vapor imagery shows us the moisture in the mid and upper atmosphere. So where you see the pink shades and the green shades in particular, we've got a lot of moisture streaming up this way around this upper low that continues to push it in. In fact, we've already got some lightning strikes here. We'll switch over to satellite radar mix, and we have some of those in southeastern Montana. So the low is taking all this moisture from the Pacific, the Gulf of Mexico, and pushing it up this way. And then we have little weak disturbances that come along with it and keep the chance of showers going. That'll be the case through the day. Hit and miss showers, isolated thunderstorms, some periods of fog here for the morning. Temperatures in the 50s, maybe some low 60s in eastern Montana by tomorrow morning. Here we are by this evening, and watch overnight. We'll start to develop some areas of snow up into the higher elevations as well, and that'll be the case Saturday into Sunday, and again as we go into the first part of the week. So showers developing along with that. Now by tomorrow morning, we have the potential of some drier air into southeast Montana. Where that sets up exactly will be somewhere around Billings towards the east. So Billings could actually get a little break in the showers tomorrow. Just depends on how this system starts to set up. And it could actually be a little bit warmer into southeastern Montana thanks to that little break in the showers, but then more moisture starts to wrap back around it again. As we go from Sunday into Monday, we're going to be watching the showers starting to exit the region. Still a showery day, but then this cold air starts to move in, and we could be very chilly by the time we start getting into Monday morning with frost and freeze conditions possible. Temperatures this morning are mainly in the 40s, even a couple of low 50s in the mix. You see that moisture stream continuing to move up into southern Montana. So off and on showers today, a little breezy in northeastern Montana. Showers will be slower to develop through the northwestern, northeastern portions of the state. Readings will be mainly in the 50s to low 60s. And that'll be the case in our area today. 50s to low 60s, a little bit breezy, especially from areas around Jordan to the north. So today we could struggle up a little bit with some area showers. Off and on today, more steady showers tomorrow into Sunday. Stays about 50 to 25 mile an hour wind. So it's really just kind of a cool, blustery kind of weekend, and then very chilly by Monday morning.
And there we go, Armed Forces Day tomorrow. So
that's right.
Lots of stuff going on this weekend. Well, we also have lots of birthdays and anniversaries to take a look at, so let's get right to those. Celebrating their anniversary today, we have Clayton and Arla Oplander celebrating 22 years together. Then Roger and Tony Clemens, the big 5-0. And on Saturday, celebrating their anniversaries, we have Raymond and Mary Schrader. Happy anniversary to you tomorrow. Louis and Ozzy Pulver, 54 years together. Then on Sunday, Ken and Robin Herman, Doug and Kim Schwint, happy anniversary. Archie and Barb Bott, 5 years together. And this last one, things that make Russell go, aw, Chris and Crystal Kind. 12 years together. He likes the last name Kind. He's like, oh, that's so nice.
Very nice name.
There you go, guys. Now you can have birthdays.
And Haley Ship, I'll let you take this
word.
one.
Look at that. Look who's turning 30. And she's turning 30. She's in Miles City this weekend during the 65th annual Bucking Horse Sale. My goodness. Do you think there's enough beer in Cowtown, USA to sustain Haley's birthday entourage in Bucking Horse Sale?
I can hardly wait to see the booking photos.
I can't either.
My goodness.
There's going to be stuff splashed across the face. And you got Lane down there.
Yeah.
Is Miles City even safe?
There's trouble.
There is
Watch
trouble.
out, Miles City.
Exactly. Happy birthday, Miss Ship.
Kate Wilson is 6. Casey Bauer is 22. Mike Brano has a birthday today. Michael Schwent, 7 years old. 70. J.D. Lowry and Reese Bryant. Happy birthday today.
Who else? Donna Ledbala, happy birthday to you. Patrick Hogan, Grandma Donna Deans, happy birthday. And Mitchell Boyer, 20.
The
Marcus,
brother of the Marcus Boyer.
the
There he
brother,
is.
one of the brothers.
They're brothers.
Happy birthday. Look at that picture with the pug.
What's the pug's name? You gotta tell us.
Pug's name?
Bear?
Bear?
Puganese.
He's a Puganese.
Okay.
Whatever that
Boyer.
is.
Bear Boyer.
Sorry. And please.
Ed, stop it. Okay, celebrating their birthday tomorrow, we have Liz Jacobs, who's actually part of the Q2 family. She interns here in the summer. Liz, we want you back soon. Kevin Eugene Keller, 62 years old. Bill Marshington is 69. Jerry Baker, happy birthday to you tomorrow.
Les Seymour is turning 59. Marnie Allen, happy birthday. And Dina Wagner, happy birthday tomorrow.
Okay, who else do we have? Saturday, Faith Hetzer is turning 6. Susan Gofina, is 59, and Grace Kernow, happy birthday to you.
I think I'll take Sunday. Alex Bertram is celebrating. Taylor Buckingham has a birthday. Jen Long Bryant, 41. Stephen DeVries and Deanne DeVries, happy birthday on Sunday.
Okay, get your birthdays and anniversaries into us. Mail them, email them to us, or call 252-5611.
And
that's right, stop right there. Look at that.
I am laughing, crying right now.
That is funny.
Oh, it's Friday,
like
and I just you know, end of the week.
You need to
anything, everything's getting to me, and Bear Boyer.
Bear the Puganese sticking his tongue out at the camera. My goodness.
Okay.
We got a lot more coming up, right?
Whew, thank goodness we have a commercial break coming up, because that will give me enough time to gather myself and get ready for Mr. Todd Preston, who's here in studio with our Market Watch interview. We'll be right back after this break. Time's now 6:28.
You're going to make it. You are. Truly.
Welcome back. The time's now 6:31, and I'm here with Todd Preston from D.A. Davidson. Good morning, and thanks for being with us.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got 3 questions for you here this morning. First, stocks are getting back to rally mode, so tell us about that.
Well, after about a 4-day sell-off, we finally saw some strong move in the market. S&P's actually now at record levels again. The Dow is within 40 points, and that's primarily because we saw the dollar weaken a little bit. It's been rallying all year. In fact, it was at an 11-year high a little bit earlier. So that weakness gave a little bit of cheer to the market, and so we had a little bit of a rally.
Okay, and also I know that the economic data was mixed again, so kind of tell us the story behind that.
Initial jobless claims are at a 15-year low. That was the positive. But producer price index, they were anticipating a little bit of a jump there. They're wanting to see the economy begin to recover, and so producer prices going up would be a piece of that signal. Didn't happen, and they're blaming the weaker dollar, or excuse me, lower oil on that, which really doesn't make sense because What we should be seeing is the fact that the weaker dollar means more money is not going in the gas tank but into the broader economy.
Right.
We're not really seeing that yet, and so that was a little bit of a disappointment. But again, the dollar being weak, that's going to help the multinational companies because when the dollar's strong, our goods and services cost more internationally. The weaker dollar will help that a little bit. So again, just kind of a mixed market.
Okay, I think, I haven't shopped at the mall in a while, so I think that might have been why I threw that number off.
That could be part of it.
Okay, and last, so will the volatility continue?
Well, I think it will. I mean, the concern is that even with the mixed news, the concern is the Fed's going to raise rates sometime this year. Some are saying as early as midsummer, some are saying late fall. But the anticipation is at some point the rates are going to go up. That's going to keep the markets nervous. Like I said, the S&P had a nice run up. We're at record levels. But I think the volatility is here, at least until the dog days of summer, which there's that old saying, sell in May and go away. I don't think that'll happen this year. And so I think the volatility will be here until we get some indication of when the rates are when they're going to move and how much are they going to move.
Okay, well, Todd, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again in a few weeks. The time is now 6:33. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Montana This Morning, everyone. The time's now 6:36. Hey, this looks a little familiar. Yesterday was a pretty hazy day, just like it is this morning. Now let's take a look at a few stories from around the world. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says he will personally hear Tom Brady's suspension appeal. The New England Patriots quarterback was suspended 4 games for using underinflated footballs in the AFC Championship game. The Players Union had asked for a neutral arbitrator to review the case. A league-appointed investigator found that Brady was at least generally aware of inappropriate activities by 2 team employees. In California, new surveillance video has been released of a crash that killed 2. A woman armed with a knife reportedly stole an ambulance, then crashed into a semi-truck on Thursday. Witnesses say she was driving up to 100 miles per hour at one point. The crash killed the woman and the truck driver. The woman was 50 years old. The driver of the truck was just 40. He leaves behind a wife and children. Riley B. King, the legendary guitarist known as B.B. King, passed away Thursday night. He was 89 years old. His daughter Patty King said he died in Las Vegas, where he announced 2 weeks ago that he was in home hospice care after suffering from dehydration. King was born on September 16, 1925, on a cotton plantation in Mississippi. In his youth, he played on street corners for dimes, saying he earned more in one night singing on the corner than he did in 1 week working in the cotton fields. And last, McDonald's is revealing more about its new Hamburglar. He's now a slim suburban dad with a secret identity. Not the short, chubby cartoon character last seen 13 years ago. The company says he's intended to help McDonald's launch its new sirloin third-pound burger. Sounds like something Russell would eat, but some fans haven't been impressed, saying he looks creepy and not kid-friendly. The thought just dawned on me. He's trying to promote the sirloin third-pound burger, and his identity is a mystery. What if he's Russell?
It could be.
Russell. We need to find a black mask and a little bat hat. But he is creepy. That's the talk. That's the talk right now. He looks kind of scary. I'm not saying Russell's creepy. I'm saying the hamburger
How else do you
is
want me to
creepy.
take that?
No. Bad combination of words. But he's even got a hamburger tie.
Yes. I don't know. I have to agree. That guy, he looks like somebody you wouldn't want within 300 yards of a school zone. So I've got a problem with that one.
He has to have some sort of restraining order against him, right?
Yeah, I think several. That's probably why he's got the mask.
Yeah, nobody knows who he is. Well, what do you have coming up in weather? And it's pretty hazy out there right now.
That's right. Plenty of rain in the mix, too. We've got showers rotating around this upper low. In fact, we've already had some lightning strikes here through extreme southeast Montana. So this system will continue to grab onto moisture, pull it up this way from the Pacific and the Gulf of Mexico. So there's a pretty good feed coming in. And Janet, thanks for your report just outside of Broadus in Powder River County, where she already has puddles, about 4/10 of an inch of rain and more coming down. So you can see it focusing here on this area from Miles City south. And then a few showers moved through the Billings area last night. We picked up 11/100ths of an inch during the evening hours, and then a little trace amounts afterwards. But the showers continue to develop and push up. Well, we're looking at the readings mainly in the 40s now, as warm as 50 as in Kalispell, and some 30s in the mix as well. Glasgow right now reporting 38 degrees. So the showers continue to move across the region through the day today. Even some higher elevation snow, isolated thunderstorms by later in the day. Tomorrow we could actually start with some drier air starting to move into southeastern Montana. Where that sets up a little bit of a question mark right now. Billings looks like it'll stay in the rain according to the latest computer analysis, but some of this has been pushing it just a little more to the west, which means Billings could get a little break in the morning rain showers as well. This will allow things to warm up a bit more in southeastern Montana for tomorrow, and then rotate some more showers in as we get this push of cooler air. Now watch Saturday night into Sunday as it starts to clear out. Here we go. Sunday morning starts to clear out during the afternoon, but this is colder air that's coming down from the north. So by the time we get all this moisture in the air, some areas of frost, even some freeze potential by the time we start getting into Monday morning. That could be especially cool. Readings in the area today mainly into the 50s, a couple of low 60s, a little breezy, off and on showers with clouds throughout the day. Overnight readings tonight in mainly the 40s, showers, isolated thunderstorms coming off the mountains throughout the evening hours. Tomorrow we could see some warmer readings in the eastern edge of the state with the breaks and the rain showers, but as cool as the 40s to low 50s as we start looking for Billings off towards the west. Readings will stay cool and showery and breezy, 15 to 25 miles an hour during the weekend, and a little bit of a warm up next week after that cool start Monday. Much more after this on Montana This Morning.
Welcome back. The time is now 6:44, and for today's trending story, it's out of Santa Cruz, California. Now, have you heard of the website Airbnb?
No, I have not.
Okay, basically, if you have a room to rent to travelers, you can post it on the website.
Okay.
Complete strangers can come live in your home and they just pay you rent for a few days that they need to stay there. But in Santa Cruz, California, a woman rented out her master bedroom, and now the people who rented the room out are refusing to leave. They're holed up in the room and there's nothing she can do. She even tried to serve them an eviction notice and they just won't leave. There they are. She's trying to hand them the paper. The woman just walks away, and man over there just keeps fixing himself some food. That's a nightmare come true.
Wow. That'll make you think twice about actually listing a property, because, you know, it is hard to evict somebody. You rent them a place, and I guess, yeah.
And that's what she says. She hopes people can learn from her story. And while the website has good intentions of helping people out, finding a temporary place to stay, there's just so many rights and protections for tenants nowadays that she can't just kick them out on the street, because they can end up turning around and suing her instead. So kind of a bizarre story this morning.
Same thing applies to in-laws.
Oh, hopefully.
Not sure.
Didn't hear that.
Let's take a look at temperatures across the region into the 50s to around 60 today. A mix of clouds, some area fog here this morning. Rain showers have already been heavy in places here through southeastern Montana with isolated thunderstorms and a little bit of wind in the mix. 40s for most of the overnight lows, a few stray showers. The showers will become more frequent tonight heading into tomorrow, and we could get some breaks in the rain during periods tomorrow, especially tomorrow morning. Miles City, Forsyth, Hardin, Broadus, down towards Sheridan, perhaps even towards Billings may see a brief break in the showers tomorrow morning, but staying breezy at 15 to 25 miles an hour. So for Billings, could still make the upper 50s by later in the afternoon, but expect some of the clouds. The fog again will linger and hold back the temperatures some. Upper 40s to low 50s tomorrow, breezy, and rain showers continuing through Sunday. Chilly Monday morning, and then temperatures warm after that. 6:46, we're back with headlines after this.
Good morning and welcome back. The time is now 6:48, coming up on 6:49, and there's a hazy look over the city of Billings, much like it was yesterday. Well, we're following breaking news from this morning. Billings police are investigating an early morning motorcycle crash on the south side. Now, this is video from the scene. The crash was first reported around 4:30 this morning. It happened near the intersection of South 27th and 5th Avenue South. Initial reports indicated it was a vehicle versus motorcycle crash. At least one person was transported to the hospital by ambulance. Very few details are available at this time, but we do know the streets were blocked off as investigators cleared the scene. We'll update this story online with more information as soon as it becomes available. Now in world news, the investigation into the deadly Amtrak crash in Philadelphia remains focused on the engineer. He's expected to speak with the National Transportation Safety Board sometime in the next few days. The attorney for engineer Brandon Bostian says his client has no memory of the crash. 8 people died when the train derailed at more than 100 miles per hour. In crime news, a young Billings girl told investigators she was in 5th grade the first time she was raped by her 34-year-old babysitter. Chad Bjork has been charged with 3 counts of sexual intercourse without consent. He allegedly committed the crimes against a 12-year-old girl for more than a year. Court documents state Bjork is a friend of the girl's family and would watch over her and her siblings from time to time. The girl eventually told her mother about the sexual abuse. When the woman confronted Bjork, he first denied it, but later admitted it. Bjork allegedly told the victim's mother her daughter, quote, wanted it. Bjork is being held at the Yellowstone County Jail on a $50,000 bond. As our nation observes National Police Week, here are some thoughts from Billings Police Chief Rich St. John, who says the special connection officers share is something only those in law enforcement can completely understand.
You get the concept of it and you understand, you can see and you can grasp, but you don't get it because you're not part of it. So that bond, the things that you go through, seeing the best of humanity, seeing the worst of humanity, and some of the horrific things that you see are really bonding. And when you have thousands and thousands get together in one location to recognize our fallen officers, that's a special event.
And according to the National Law Enforcement Officer Memorials Fund, throughout U.S. history, more than 20,000 law enforcement officers have made the ultimate sacrifice. From police to fire, a new station is set to open next month in Lockwood, but it's not just for firefighters, it's for the entire community. The new 20,000 square foot facility is 7 times the size of the current station. Fire Chief John Staley says it's much needed space. The $3.6 million building also features a community meeting room and even a stocked fishing pond for kids. The current station on Driftwood Lane has just 2 bays for emergency vehicles, which means the department's other vehicles must park outside exposed to the elements. Soon there will be 6 bays, leaving room for growth. The department plans to move into the new station mid-June. Well, 2 weeks have passed since the 2015 Montana legislature adjourned in Helena, and the dust is still settling from the session's abrupt ending. Montana Governor Steve Bullock gives lawmakers high marks for coming together to expand Medicaid, pass the Flathead Water Compact, and pass new mental health initiatives for Montanans. But the defeat of a $150 million infrastructure bill to invest in projects statewide was a major disappointment. Q2's Jay Cohn sat down with the governor to get his reaction.
Some of those folks, I'm not sure if there's anything you could do to get them to actually vote to invest in the jobs and the infrastructure for our community, but I think they should talk to folks back home about what their expectations were, because that was a disappointment from my perspective that we didn't make some of these much needed investments in infrastructure.
So special session, probably not in the immediate future.
I think it's certainly too early to be saying things. I mean, they finished on day 86 of a 90-day session. They left without getting the job done. Just say to call them back if there's a good handful of them that still aren't serious about getting a proposal. You know, I think it's just way too early for that.
And among the projects that died with the defeat of that infrastructure was funding to repair the Laurel water system's intake. Governor Bullock says his office is exploring other possible options to fund those needed repairs. Turning to energy news, oil production in North Dakota increased 1% in March. That's according to the state's Department of Mineral Resources. In spite of the current industry-wide slowdown, March production figures show North Dakota producing nearly 1.2 million barrels per day, which equals out to almost 37 million barrels per month. March also saw North Dakota set an all-time high for the number of producing oil wells, which peaked over 12,000. But the slowdown in the oil industry is perhaps better reflected in the state's rig count. Today's rig count totaled just 83, which is the lowest number in North Dakota in 5 years. That rig count is down 62% from its all-time high of 218 set back in May of 2012. And the latest rig count in Montana is 0. North Dakota Mineral Resources Director Lynn Helms says the price of crude oil is by far the biggest driver of the current slowdown. And as we wrap up on this Friday, I always get a kick out of dumb criminal videos. Now, I came across this one this morning that I'd like to share with you, and hopefully you get a good laugh. Now, police in Townsville, Australia are looking for a not-so-smooth criminal. They released this surveillance video. Of course, first he has some trouble breaking into the window. He eventually gets it, and he's got that chain hooked up, but long story short, he goes and wraps that chain around the ATM. What he doesn't know, Ed, is that when he tries to drive away, there you go, it disconnects. So he goes out, tries to drive away, doesn't realize it's disconnected, and hey, no ATM for him. And then he goes back, tries to reconnect it, parks too far away, and just gives up and drives off. So there you go. There he is trying again, but he gets out, tries it again. Hey, doesn't work out. Not so smooth criminal for you for the day. So yeah.
Apparently the chain wasn't the only thing that was a couple of links short.
Good one. No, it wasn't.
Let's take a look. We got a lot of weather to talk about here.
Get to it.
Stop the shenanigans. Get to the weather. Here we go. We got a low pressure system here. That's spinning up all this moisture our way. So if we switch it over to our True View forecast for today and the satellite radar mix, we're watching this area of showers, thunderstorms continuing to develop. Some heavier rain in southeastern Montana this morning, and we'll continue to draw a lot of that moisture up throughout the day. More frequent showers, isolated thunderstorms, some higher elevation snow during the evening and overnight hours. Could pick up some areas of drier air early tomorrow and then start to push that area of showers out of the region. Now, Billings will be right on the fringe of whether or not we get a break in the rain showers tomorrow, but could warm things up a little bit more Saturday afternoon in eastern Montana. The showers continue to develop as it wraps around this low pressure system through Sunday, but starts to clear out Sunday night. The problem is we've got this cold air coming down from the north, and it could be very chilly Monday morning, cold enough for some frost and freeze conditions. Temperatures this hour are mainly into the 40s, but to near 50. Some pockets of some heavier rain. We've had some reports from around Broadus this morning, already 0.4 of an inch reported there. So our high temperatures today will be mainly into the 50s to low 60s for the highs, some breezy conditions throughout the day, and then the chance of rain perhaps taking a bit of a break in eastern Montana during the morning tomorrow. But overall, we're looking at a good chance of picking up steadier rain showers tonight through tomorrow, and then periods of rain, snow, some breezy conditions. The worst of it through Sunday. Monday morning's chilly, and then drier with some scattered showers next week. It's time to turn to John with a look at traffic.
Well, thank you very much, Ed, and good morning, everyone. This Road Watch update brought to you by Cedar and Sage Gift Shop inside Pelican Plaza. Well, one project in the Heights has been around since spring. And well, this project will continue to be around quite a bit longer. I'm talking about the Bench Boulevard project. Now, yesterday I talked with project manager for the job, Doug Teller, and he spoke about this daunting job. Tell me about the project. What are you guys doing here?
We are working on a widening and modernization of Bench Boulevard, as well as safety improvements in the intersection of Highways 87 and 312 and Main Street. And we're working on the improvements of this stretch here, and ultimately it'll be improved the whole lane. We anticipated there was going to be a lot of traffic on that street and a lot of very complex traffic control. It's been working out okay for us so far, but it is one of the highest traffic volume streets of its type in the whole state.
certainly one of the busiest junctions in the state of Montana right there. You've got 87 around Roundup Road, 312 going out to Shepherd and Huntley Project, and then Main Street coming right into it.
And I would just encourage people to continue to drive safely, drive slowly, watch for flag people, watch for workmen and signage.
That is one busy place, so stay away if you can.
Absolutely.
Okay, we've got a busy weekend ahead of us. Ed, what do you have?
That's right. Radgrad going on tomorrow at the Master Lube locations, the different high schools trying to raise money for their graduation parties. Not the best weekend for it, but help them out if you can. Historic home tour going on at Moss Mansion, and Armed Forces Day over at Cabela's. They'll have honor guard, color guard at 8:45, and then activities through the day.
Okay, so if somebody's heading out the door right now, is it a bad idea or good idea to bike to work since it's Bike to Work Day?
It's a good idea because we got free food for you, at least at a couple of locations. If you're biking, busing, walking to work, a couple of locations right through the center of town along Division, and Grand and Lewis have some areas where they're handing out
burritos.
And we know the true
Hamburglar.
identity of the new Hamburglar. It's Russell Nimitz.
I probably would steal your hamburger.
As long as it's a beef patty, right?
That's right.
Well, everyone, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there. Here is CBS This Morning.
Good morning. It is Friday, May 15, 2015. Welcome to CBS This Morning. A deadly discovery.